Often in the course of my work with people, the question comes up, people who are successful, are they born like that? Do they just have a personality that is focused and driven and, with this remarkable concentration and ability to make things happen? And my answer is no. Very often, people who become successful in life, if you look at their earlier years, well, many of them are not necessarily operating at the top of their game. In this video, I will introduce you to a very successful individual for whom this is actually true. When he's starting, he's actually in one field, but the field in which he ultimately gains success is a wholly different field. And somehow, when he goes into that other field, something catches, and then, well, the rest is history. So let's take a look at this video and we'll debrief afterwards. Welcome to the Psychology of Success. My name is Alexander, and today we're sitting with Akbar Neemji. You work in the real estate industry.
Yes.
The real estate industry is quite big, actually. I think, if I remember correctly, there are about almost 6,000 realtors in Calgary.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you work at the pinnacle of that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's right.
20-something years.
For 20-something years.
Yeah.
How do you come to be there? I guess I'm very interested in hearing that, and also about your background, which is not actually from Canada,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
you come from another place, like many of us. Can you talk a little bit about your background? Where you come from and how you come to be, how you come to be where you are today.
So from Kenya, so basically born in Nairobi,
Right.
London for a very short time, which was basically kindergarten. And then my father chose Canada, and specifically Calgary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was it. He had come to Canada just to check out the country before, and he was in love with Canada.
Right.
It was this is going to be my home.
Canada was his thing.
Yeah, Canada was his thing. But I'm glad he came to Calgary.
Well, Calgary is a very opulent city.
It is.
And it has these beautiful mountains by it. It's a younger city. It's a very business-oriented city.
He saw a lot of future in this
So
city.
you saw a lot of future. But
Yeah.
you come originally from Nairobi.
Which is a big city too.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's also
Yeah.
a very...
It's a metropolis, and
It's a huge metropolis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But what led to that transition, moving from Nairobi all the way across to Canada?
For safety and education.
Oh, so there were things going on in
East
Africa at that
yeah,
point
with
in
Uganda
time.
crisis, and they were nervous that in Kenya, Tanzania would suffer the same consequences.
The Idi Amin crisis that happened in
Yes.
Uganda, and
Yeah,
there was a lot of
exactly.
unrest there at that time, right?
So everybody was very concerned that,
Right.
that this could come into Kenya. So, he thought, well, we might as well just move here.
Yeah,
And I don't want to send my son alone
right,
at this age.
right. So the whole family moved basically.
The whole family moved. My dad thought, Calgary was a really good place. I think it was 250 or 300,000 people at that time. Small little city.
So
of
it's
Calgary.
1.3 million now, 1.4 million.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
The largest building other than the Calgary Tower was the Sheraton, which was, I think, 10 stories, which they've torn down. But it was a beautiful city with the mountains. It had wonderful suburbs. They had excellent school system, excellent healthcare. So it was a really nice city. It was such a great place to grow up. So I went through school here, all the way to grade 12. Ended up in University of Calgary.
Right.
I
think you
wanted
did
to
a
go-
degree in biology.
Yeah, I did sciences.
And so you graduated in biology, but that's not the career that you ultimately pursued.
No, I just didn't. After doing that, and I remember volunteering at Foothills Hospital as part of school. I would, and I enjoyed volunteering, and I used to go 3 times a week in the emergency department, and it was enjoyable. But as I saw that career path, I decided
That was not your thing.
This is not it. And at that time, my dad, even in Calgary, was working in real estate.
Right. Okay.
In terms of commercial buildings and things of that sort, like he was doing in Kenya.
Because he had a real estate background.
Yes,
coming
from
Kenya.
the insurance company there. So I would go to his buildings here and kind of hang out, watch. Oh, he's collecting rent, and there's this much for rent, and then there's utility. And
So you got this exposure into real estate, but earlier when we were talking, you were also mentioning that you were not quite serious yet
No, I didn't
about
think it was.
business and life and so
Yeah,
on, right?
it was interesting, and it was that's what your
Right.
dad did.
Right.
So as sort of things progressed,
Hmm.
I decided that that a medical field is
Was not your thing.
not my
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking of architecture because I used to take Lego and build
Hmm.
houses,
Okay.
like really nice houses. I
Right.
thought, at that time.
Well, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
You built one.
I remember it was all over the house were these houses that I built
Right.
on the floor.
Okay.
And when my mom would, because I had to clean the house every once a week, vacuum, and she would be always, you have to move the brick and vacuum underneath all of your toys and put them back.
Yeah, you
You
were
know.
telling me. I mean,
Yeah.
even though you've had a very early privileged background, your parents were quite well to do, but nevertheless, your mom would still make you do chores
Yeah.
and tasks. Yes.
Spray down the house, take out the garbage. I would mow the lawn,
Hmm.
do all of that every week.
Yes.
You
So,
know,
what was important about that?
It
Yeah.
was basically learning a lot of, I think, basic. Doing chores in the house is basically teaching you how to live and be independent.
Yeah, so it's not just about the chores. It's not just about
No,
cleaning
because it wasn't
your
about
room.
that. It's part of you learning
Yeah.
to live and be independent.
Yes.
And it's not just cutting the lawn. My mom used to say, when you cut the lawn, all these, you have to trim the sides and everything, so it looks really nice.
Not just do it, but do it well. And
Yeah.
so she's teaching you. In fact, she's teaching you certain ethics
Yes.
that which you imbibed and learned, and you carry into your business life later on, right?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
everything I do now, even little things, even when we're listing a house, and there's little things that when we're taking pictures of the house,
Yes.
or we would move things or fix things, or that's okay there, and I would be like, no,
Right.
no. I remember because in our house we couldn't do it.
So you really bring that kind of that scrutiny, that the detail and the care, and that you learn from there into your adult independent life once you
Yeah.
start.
If you're gonna do it, just do it properly.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right, and do it well and do it
Yeah.
properly. So there are two things here. One is mom's trying to teach you, and of course, dad also, whose influence grows on you later on, right? But the other part is you accepting that influence.
Yes.
Because coming from a well-to-do background, you could very well afford to lounge around and not.
Which I did too.
You did as well, and
Yeah.
you said earlier years, it was kind of like that. You weren't quite in your groove really
Yeah.
when you did your degree and so on. But then, what turned things around ultimately, where you developed that business mindset, the work mindset, which ultimately helped you create your own success in life? What turned that around?
I think it was the confidence that I got from my parents, who had the confidence in me that I didn't show that I had, or I didn't think I had.
You told me about your dad taking you back to Kenya, as a matter of fact.
Yes, yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so he had basically told me on a family trip, I just want you to give me 1 year. So I thought, this was an opportunity to spend time with him every day
Right.
in an adult life.
And you got to see his real estate business.
Yes,
And
I
ultimately,
saw all of the history and all the buildings he took me to that he built in the 60s
Yes.
and 50s with my grandfather. He took me to all these properties, and it was a very proud moment for me. And so he was at that point said, well, this is your history. What would you like to do? So, I remember commenting on some of the buildings, and because, we come from Canada, everything is clean and painted. I would be like, Dad, like these buildings, does anybody paint these things? And because I was always taught, right? The house is clean, everything's
Yes.
perfect, the garden's all, because that's how I grew up. I'm like, well, look at these buildings. He's like, okay, well, here you go. This is the building portfolio. You fix all of them.
Yeah.
This is your budget.
Yes.
Let's see what you can do.
So he handed you
know?
the reins, so to speak, and
For that property division, he basically gave
Yeah.
it to me.
and you took them and you
Yeah.
ran with it, right?
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
So how instrumental was that learning to to coming to Canada and getting, entering the real estate field here yourself,
Yeah.
and then independently developing success for yourself here in the real estate. I mean, I think if I understand correctly, you've basically handled over $1 billion worth of real estate over the years.
Yes.
$1 billion is a lot, $1,000 million, right? Something to
Yeah,
that. If I
yeah,
even
yeah.
today, I think your listings number in the, well over 50, $60 million, if not more. That's just my cursory research,
Yes.
and possibly more. So that that's remarkable. What was instrumental about what you learned there that allowed you to come here and develop success for yourself independently?
I mean, I think it was the ethics and the work ethic to basically go in. And I remember my first listing was this little house on 14th Street in Elbow Park,
Right.
which was 199,000. You go in and I think being very honest and ethical
Right.
is the start.
Honesty is important.
Biggest thing, especially in real estate.
Why is it important? I mean, I think that's people talk about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of we think we go in. Some realtors think they go in that they're the smart ones, and I think my vision is the other way around. My customers know the market.
They know what they want.
They know their house. I'm just here to provide them with the service. And I can learn a lot from, because they don't want to sell their house themselves. They want to look for their house themselves. But they're not stupid. So I think when we go in with that impression as a start,
Yes.
we get a completely different attitude back from the other client. And the trust is formed immediately. And once you have that trust,
So you're not there to dictate to them, and
No.
basically, or you're going to work with them, and then
yes.
and then all the other pieces that you have acquired over time, starting from your parents, your mom literally, cleaning the house and cut the grass properly, all of that transferred into what you do today.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's been quite a journey starting from there and working way up with different clients and talking to people, and I think it's the biggest thing is to just really enjoy what
Yeah.
you're doing and provide very detailed, concise, clear service.
What about the enjoy part? That's interesting, because often I think when people are working, enjoy doesn't come into the picture. They don't think along those
No,
lines.
I love houses.
So you really enjoy your work. I mean, that's
Yes, I
something-
love looking at houses and seeing different designs and what people are doing or how people are living.
Right.
And it's interesting to sit and talk to a client about this is what we live. This is how we live with our kids, and this is what I do in the morning with my coffee and what I where I want to be with my kids, and I don't want
Right.
to hear them, and I need this room. And it's very interesting how everybody's lives, because you don't see that when you meet people.
Yeah.
You don't when you meet people for the first time, you don't know where they live, how they live, anything about them.
Yes.
But once you see, how and where they live,
You
completely-
literally step into their world.
it's very, very personal.
Yeah.
Somebody's home
Yeah.
is very personal.
Very personal.
And you learn a lot from them from I think their home.
What about setbacks? Like, can you talk a little bit about? I mean, we all have setbacks.
Yes, I have to.
Yeah. How have you handled the setbacks that you have experienced in your life, in your professional life, on the way to developing success for yourself?
So I mean, the markets in Calgary are very dynamic,
Volatile, up and down.
extremely volatile. It's
People-
very easy to be complacent in this
Right.
in this field,
Yes.
but it's a dynamic field that is evolving, and you need to constantly be on top of
Yeah,
things.
complacency is something that you
Absolutely, because you can
Yeah.
it can be gone like that,
Right.
in a minute.
What would be one piece of advice, like one thing that you might give to people who might be watching this, listening to this? What would be one piece of advice that you would give them that has helped you achieve success in life?
You need to continue to evolve in your education.
Keep learning.
Keep learning.
Is the-
Never be complacent.
Never be complacent.
Yeah, achieving success is wonderful.
Yes.
It's a great feeling, but
What's great about it?
it's
What has it brought to you? What has it given you?
it gives you it gives you definitely financial freedom to be able to maybe do things that you've always wanted to do.
Right.
like travel or buying the car you want.
Buying the car. Yeah, we'll take a
The
look at
automatic
that.
roof, you know, I don't have that one with the rooftop anymore. But anyways,
Okay.
but you know, things like that.
Right.
That and you know, even time to spend with your family.
Hmm.
And you know, before my mother passed away, you know, she was quite ill, unfortunately. But I was able to, because I had worked to a stage in my life where I could spend a lot of time with her.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
could go with her to all her appointments and be with her, and
Yeah.
you know, that's worth more than anything.
Well, having it gives you the ability to have time actually, right?
Yes.
That if you need it, you can take time
I
out
can
and
take
freedom.
the time, and that's worth more than anything.
That's worth more than anything, really.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has been really instructive.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Akbar. Actually, I really appreciate the time that you've
No, thank you
taken
for-
to meet with me and
For interviewing
share.
me. Yes, thank you.
You know, with the people who are watching this. I'd love to take a look around your place a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
we do that?
Yeah, sure.
And I remember my son, who's not so young anymore, saying, "You have to get a shot of his car."
Sure,
I
he can.
said,
The
"Okay,
roof doesn't move anymore, but
Okay.
I think he may like it anyways.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. Okay, we're doing a little tour of your place. There you go.
Of course, the shisha pipe is there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Many of those around.
That's one of the things that you enjoy, I guess.
Yes, it is.
So this is the
This is
like
where
an
everything
alcove.
happens.
Your office is here.
I spend
is
a
it?
lot of time here.
Yes.
The reason why this is very peaceful is my yard is there.
Your yard is there.
My dog is there.
Oh yeah, that's a big guy.
Yeah, and I can relax, spend some time here. It's great in the summertime.
Fantastic. And then I want to take a shot of your. Oh, this is a nice secluded yard. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, you got a basketball court in the back here.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right, here we are.
The bed's not done, so don't show that. My mom would be very upset
We will not do that.
today.
We will not do that. I love the artwork you have here.
Thank you. A lot of it was chosen by my mom too.
Beautiful.
Well, I hope you liked that video. Thank you to Akbar for his great generosity in sharing his time with us. A couple of key things should have come out of that video for you. One of them has to do with having somebody to give you influence, to teach you, guide you. It's really critical in life. So sometimes that's a family member, and sometimes that's a mentor, and at other times, perhaps it's a coach or somebody like that, right? So somebody to give you influence, to guide you. And the other part is the part that pertains to you, which is accepting the influence of someone who can help you become successful. Accepting the influence of someone who themselves are successful. We'll talk more about this in a different video. I hope you will consider joining this channel. I intend to introduce you to other successful people who will inspire you and teach you and guide you and lead you towards success. Now, if you think there's somebody else who can benefit from seeing this video, please feel free to share it. I shall see you again. Good luck and take care.